going to talk about today. So if you don't learn or remember or think of anything else that I talked to you about today, I want to talk to you about credit. I have this whiteboard over here that is a representation of credit. And one of the things about a whiteboard is that anything that you write on it, it's very easy to wipe it off and get rid of it. That's the same way with high school credit. It's very easy if you make a couple mistakes that all the time that you put in and all the hard work can easily be washed away. So I want to make sure that you understand what credit is and talk about the different ways that it can be taken away from you so that that doesn't happen. In high school, you'll have class 1 hour a day. Okay. Typically, there's two different types of schedules in high schools usually, and since you guys are going to different high schools around the valley, you'll have to find out which way yours works. Some are called block schedule, which means instead of just 1 hour a day, you go to class 2 hours a day. But you might go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you have one set of classes, and then Tuesday, Thursday have another set, so that would be a block schedule. Or some of them you go Monday through Friday, 1 hour a day, and you have the same schedule every single day. First period math, second period science, third period social studies, and your day is all the same. So it ends up being about an hour a day, 5 days a week. Okay, here's the tough math lesson for today. 1 times 5 is 5, okay? Okay, 5. So you put in a week's worth of going to school, you put in 5 hours into your subjects. So 5 hours of algebra, 5 hours of chemistry, 5 hours of world history, 5 hours of a computer class, that type of thing. So you have 5 hours a week. There are about 18 weeks in a semester of high school. Okay, so this math problem's a little bit tougher. What's 5 times 18? 90, very good, 90. Okay, so after you put in about 90 hours, you have, it's a semester worth of time, which is about 18 weeks, and that will get you 0.5, not a whole one, but a half of a credit, okay? So think of high school, you're in algebra, first period, you start it in August, and in a semester, which is 18 weeks, about December, when you have your winter break, then you would have earned 0.5 credits, okay? Now you'll continue that class from January till May or June when school lets out. So at the end of the year, you have 1 whole credit of math. Okay? Now, high schools usually, every school's a little bit different, but most high schools have anywhere between 20 to 24 credits that are required to graduate from high school. 4 of them are English credits, 3 or 4 of them are math credits, 3 of them are science credits, 3 of them are social studies, and then all the rest of them are what they call electives, and each school have a little bit different policy, but some of them might have to be computer classes, some of them might have to be fine arts classes, some of them might have to be CTE, career and technical education classes. So they're going to take your electives, and you have lots of choices on what those might be. So 20 to 24 credits. In order to get a credit, it's 1 semester. And so that ends up being anywhere from 40 to 48 classes that you take.
For 1 credit?
For you need 20 to 24 credits, and you get half credits at a time. So each class that you take is worth half a credit. So each 90-hour period that you put in, then you get half a credit. So 180 hours would be a whole credit worth. Now if you think about it, you have 4 whole years to do this. I mean, this is gonna start in a few weeks for you guys, a couple, 2 months, maybe 8 weeks. But you're gonna start in high school. But a lot of times as freshmen, you're thinking, oh, this is freshman English. I don't have to graduate for 4 whole years. I've got plenty of time to get all this stuff done. But if you look at big picture, knowing that you have to get 20 to 24 credits, which is 40 to 48 classes, if you take 40 and divide it by your 4 years of high school, how many classes do you have to take each year? 10. So that class that you're sitting in as a 14-year-old, first day of high school really matters. Because if you don't attend that class and get good enough grades, then at the end of that time, then you're not going to earn the credit, and then you're behind for graduation already. Now think about 90 hours. That's a long time. How many 2-hour movies could you watch? 45. You could watch 45 movies in that amount of time. You can drive from Phoenix to New York City and back to Phoenix in 90 hours. So it's a huge amount of time that you put in. Also, the state law says if you miss more than 10%, so 10% of 90 would be 9 hours. So if you have to attend at least 90 hours, but you can miss 10% of that, so you can miss 9. 90 minus 9 is 81, okay? So 81 hours is the minimum that you can put in. If you get to 80 hours, even if you have an A in the class, your high school does not have to give you credit. Okay, so it's very important not only to learn the material and get a good enough grade, A, B, C, or D, but you also have to attend enough hours. They have to say they were in a seat, it's called seat time, or contact hours. You were in contact with that subject area enough time for us to give you credit. Okay, so attendance and actually learning the material is very, very important. And it matters from your first day of high school, even though it seems like 4 years from now is a really long time.
The credits, do they go out throughout the year?
They do.
Or
You
is
keep
it-
accumulating them.
Well, is it for just 1 year that you have to get 20 to 24
No,
credits?
this is all 4 years of high school. So you have 4 years to get this done, this many. Yeah. So it's about 5 or 6 credits a year that you should get. One of the important things to remember, like I said, is it's not only about learning the material and getting a good grade in the class, but it's also about attending, because it's very, very easy that if you don't put in the attendance or you don't get a good enough grade, the state laws say the high schools do not have to give you credit, and then it all goes away very, very quickly.
If the law says they don't have to, do they still have the option of giving you the credit?
Yes, and it's a good question. And the reason that I say is they don't have to is because that the state law says if a student misses more than 10% of the class time, then you don't have to. But a lot of schools have a slightly different attendance policy. Like they'll say you can miss up to 12 days instead of just 10 or something like that. So they'll create an attendance policy, but it's somewhere right around 10%.